Hey everybody, this is Rykard here again, and welcome to another Pokemon Sets video, this time featuring Galvantula. Now this will be my first Galvantula video ever since I did the initial analysis of it 2 years ago before the games were even released in English. So today will be more of an update video, plus an original physical moveset for Galvantula that I'm going to show to you at the end with some video footage. So let's get started by taking a look at its typing, abilities, and stats. So first off, Galvantula sports the very unique Bug Electric typing, which is really cool because of how the electric weakness to ground is negated by the bug typing and the bug weakness to flying is negated by the electric typing, though you are still weak to rock type moves and fire type moves. For the abilities, the first one that Galvantula gets is known as Compound Eyes, which is a really cool ability that increases the accuracy of all your moves by 30%, and this is most commonly seen on Galvantula because of how it makes the accuracy of Thunder, which is one of the most powerful electric type moves that is readily available to regular Pokemon, have 91% accuracy as opposed to its usual 70% accuracy, thus making it that much easier to use and making the stab electric side for Galvantula that much more powerful because you don't have to use Thunderbolt. But for its next ability, Unnerve, this is an ability that makes it so that your opponent can never activate any berries that they might be holding, and generally this is seen as the weakest of the three abilities that Galvantula gets because it doesn't really help out your attack in any way, though Unnerve could actually be potentially useful on a Galvantula set due to how the boosting berries like Shellac berries and things like that are actually in black and white too. So this could prevent those from activating, and that could be kind of cool, but generally you're going to go with one of the other two abilities, the third being Swarm, which is Galvantula's Dream World ability that increases the power of all your bug type moves by 50% when you're at 25% of your health or less. And this is very cool because it'll allow your stab bug moves to obviously be more powerful, as I said, but it's also really easy to use due to how Galvantula is a bug type, so it's easy to get into Swarm range just by switching in on Stealth Rock. And that's actually some pretty cool strategy by using your opponent's entry hazards against them, though Compound Eyes is still generally preferred if you're running a special set for Galvantula. But for the stats, it has base 70 HP, 60 defense, and 60 special defense, meaning that this Pokemon is pretty frail overall, so it won't be able to take a lot of hits, and you have to be very careful when you use Galvantula because of that. However, it does have base 108 speed, so it is very easy for Galvantula to outspeed some things and take out any potential threats before they're able to hit you, due to how this is a pretty high speed stat, and it is on par with things like Infernape and Terrakion and all the other horses, so it's a pretty speedy Pokemon, though you do have to be aware of the things that will speed tie with it. But for this attacking stats, it actually has base 77 physical attack, which is not terrible. So I'm actually going to show you that physical set later. And this is a pretty good physical attacking set in all honesty, if you compare it to a lot of NU Pokemon that use attacking sets with similar numbers. But for its special attack, it has base 97, which is really great, and allows Galvantula to do massive damage from the special side, which is what you're normally going to see on this Pokemon. But with that, let's take a look at the first set I have for you today. So first for the set, we're going to give Galvantula a Timid Nature to increase its speed but lower its physical attack, and then we're going to be going with the ability Compound Eyes. For the EVs, we're going to put 252 into special attack, 4 for special defense, and 252 EVs into speed to give us our highest special attack and highest speed possible with that Timid Nature. And for the item, we're going to be going with a Life Orb to increase the power of all of our moves, though it is important to be cautious when using this item due to the fact that there is a 10% recoil and Galvantula does have a weakness to Stealth Rock. But for the moves, the first two that we're going to go with are pretty much standard on any special Galvantula, which is that of Thunder and Bug Buzz, just because you get really good stab options with these, and they are very powerful moves, being at base 120 and base 90 respectively. And with this coverage, we're also going to put on one of Galvantula's new Black and White 2 move tutor moves, which is Giga Drain. Now normally Galvantula would run Energy Ball in like the 4th slot due to the fact that it really isn't as useful as some of the other special attacking moves it gets, but because Galvantula does have pretty frail defenses and the weakness is Stealth Rock and will be taking Life Orb damage from the set, Giga Drain is amazing due to the fact that it can obviously help you out with some type coverage because obviously electric moves are weak to ground, which Giga Drain is super effective against, but it can also recover some much needed HP on this set, which is really great for Galvantula and something that it couldn't do before and really needed to make it that much better. But for its last move slot, You could either go with Hidden Power Ice for more type coverage because the electric and ice typing work very well together, or you could go with Volt Switch as a way to scout your opponents. But either way, Giga Drain being for Galvantula is an amazing addition for this Pokemon's move pool, and something that it will really benefit from in the future once Black and White 2 is released in the English version, at least for us English folks. As for this last set, I'm going to be showing off a physically oriented Galvantula set that I made, and before you think I'm crazy for even doing this, keep in mind that Beedrill has base 80 physical attack, and Beedrill is considered a physical attacker. So with Galvantula having 77 base, it's really not that far behind, making this set very usable despite its special attack being better. But for this set, we're going to start off by giving Galvantula a Jolly Nature to increase its speed, but lower its special attack, and then we're going to be going with the ability Swarm this time once it is released. I'm not sure when that will be though, or if it already happened. But for the EVs, we're going to put 252 into our physical attack, 4 for defense, and 252 EVs into speed to give us our highest physical attack and highest speed possible with the Jolly Nature. And for the item, we're going to be going with an Expert Belt this time to allow us to do a little bit more damage on all of the super effective hits that we might be getting, and mainly due to the fact that we are using a move with recoil in this set, so a Life Orb would just be an unnecessary amount of recoil, especially due to the fact that Galvantula is weak to Stealth Rock. But for the moves, the first one we're going to be going with is known as Screech, which is an awesome move for any physically oriented set due to the fact that we're basically halving our opponent's physical defense by lowering it 2 stages. And once this happens, Galvantula is able to dish out some massive damage due to the fact that it now has max attack with -2 physical defense on your opponent's side. So with that, the first moves that we're going to be making use of are going to be X-Scissor and Wild Charge for your Stab Bug and Stab Electric type moves. And these two both really good, base 80 for X-Scissor, base 90 for Wild Charge, and because they both get Stab on them, they're both going to be very powerful, especially with X-Scissor being boosted by Swarm once you are below 33% of your health. But for the last move on the set, Galvantula is fortunate enough to also learn Sucker Punch, which is really great because it'll allow it to hit everything that would normally outspeed it if they try to attack you. And I actually normally run Sucker Punch even on specially oriented Galvantulas, just because nobody seems to expect the priority, and because it's a nice base 80 power dark type move that you can dish out whenever you need to. But in all honesty, this set really isn't that bad, and it's actually a pretty cool option to run with this guy because it's really unexpected and it actually works really well. So with that, I actually have some footage from a match where I actually use this, so let's get to that right now. So I start things off here by showing you the moves that happen before Galvantula comes in. Basically, I Fire Blast the Gallade, and then the Gallade kills off my Typhlosion with a close combat. So here, with the minus defense and being at pretty low health, I'm able to bring in Galvantula and X-Scissor the Gallade, which is really awesome. So now he brings in his Buffalon, and because I know I can't take this out with one hit, I go for Screech to lower its defense by 2 stages, and Buffalon goes for Earthquake, probably predicting me to go back into my Dusknoir. But since now I'm in Swarm range and he's at -2 defense, I'm able to one-hit KO this Buffalon, which is amazing. But to not risk the speed tie right here with the other Galvantula, I just go straight for Sucker Punch, do some solid damage on it, and that's pretty much the end of the clip. So this Pokemon actually has use with a physical set. It's not completely out of the ordinary, and there's just kind of a little bit of footage to show you that. But anyways, that's it for this video, everyone. So as always, thank you all for watching, take care, and goodbye.